So this video, Bethesda thinks they're Rockstar, came out like a week ago or 9 days ago, and it was made by Drawn Out. Shout out to Drawn Out. But basically, a friend sent me this video and said, "Hey, this guy is talking about something similar that your channel is about," and I thought I'd maybe record my reaction to it and see how it goes. I watched like the first 45 seconds of the video, but I didn't watch the whole thing or most of it. So let's get into it.
Alright, let's talk about something here. Fallout 1, released in 1997.
Jasmine, show our drooling friend the door, please.
You all know it, we're not going to spend much time talking about it. Fallout 2, released in 1998, a year apart. Tactics came out in 2001. Little spin-off game, a lot of people liked it, some people didn't. Then nothing. Nothing for a long time.
Check it out.
But during this nothing, there was
great.
at least one man who really wanted something.
I actually made this logo for the post-apocalyptic game. It was called Apocalypse Road. And they said, well, you want Fallout. Yeah, but that's, we don't have that. Somebody here knew someone at Interplay. We might be able to acquire it. I can remember it vividly. Just a sticky note on my desk when I came back said, got you Fallout, it's yours.
And so we got Fallout.
A lot of times on my channel, I've bashed on Todd Howard and Bethesda in general with very good reason. But one thing that I will say for Todd Howard is that he has been able to recognize that Fallout is a franchise worth acquiring. And that was a good move on his part. Like, to be fair, Fallout 1 and 2, let's be honest, like, while they had their own fans and people who liked them mostly played, or like people who played the games mostly liked the games, but they were not like, it was not a massive franchise before Bethesda took over, right? They were more like niche games that a specific niche of players played and liked, but it was not like nearly as big as Fallout as a franchise is now. So there is that to be said about Todd Howard's business acumen, even though he's made a huge mess of things in the meantime. But back at the time when Bethesda acquired Fallout, that was a good business move.
Fallout 3, released in 2008. This is the intro to the franchise to a lot of people, including me. This game has a lot of flaws, but is also really good. I think
I agree.
it's cool. So this gap between Fallout 2 and Fallout 3 was 10 years. Tactics doesn't really count. It's kind of a spin-off game. It's not really the same thing as what Fallout 1 and 2 were, and definitely not what Fallout 3 is. These are the things people really care about. The numbered entries that signify something.
Yeah, I would say yes, like with the exception of New Vegas, which is technically not a numbered entry, but I would also put it in that group. Like I would also categorize it as a numbered entry, even though it's technically not. But yeah, I also would not count Tactics.
Big is here. Now, that said, Fallout New Vegas is
Okay.
basically one of these games.
Yeah,
Doesn't
okay.
have a number, but is it's better.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
This released in 2000.
What?
It's better.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
This released in 2010. Only
That's good.
2 years after Fallout 3. Not bad. It was a good time to be a Fallout gamer. So keeping all of that in mind, we are going to talk about Fallout 4, released in 2015. Fallout 4 did one big thing for Bethesda on launch and made them a lot of money. This was before Bethesda released Skyrim 19 different times.
Good job!
Yeah, so again, credit where credit is due. One thing that Bethesda tends to get right with their games, at least they used to, I haven't played, I didn't play Starfield. Music in their games has almost always been really, really good. Like thinking back to like Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout, I have not played any of those games without, after playing the games, going on YouTube and typing in like X game music soundtrack and then just listen, like Oblivion soundtrack or Skyrim soundtrack or Fallout soundtrack, and then just listening to music because like it was so. Skyrim and even Fallout soundtracks have actually been done by real life orchestras. That's how good they are. So I I cannot fault them for that. They really know. I don't know how they do it. Like I don't know if they have like an internal team that's designed, like that's like music design of Bethesda, or if they outsource it. I don't know how that happens, but they usually do a good job with music.
So next came Fallout 76, released in 2018. This
Yeah,
game
this was a huge bust.
sucked. People
Yeah.
did not like this game. This has been talked about so many different times in so many different videos that I don't have to go over it here. What's important to remember is that this number right here, the last one of
Yeah, so Fallout 76 is when, like, it's when things really started going downhill for Bethesda. Not necessarily financially, but like it's when their reputation started going downhill. Like Fallout 4 was still like it was still fine. Like I said, I love Fallout 4, but some people didn't like it. I remember when I played Fallout 4, and I said it to a friend and I were talking about it, and the friend, like my friend, said that he thought that Fallout 4 was bad because it was not as good of an RPG as something like New Vegas. And even though I agree that it's not as good of an RPG, it's still a great game. Like it had, yes, New Vegas had things that Fallout 4 didn't, mostly in terms of like story and the depth and characters and your choices mattering. But Fallout 4 also had things that New Vegas didn't. Like it had, I think, a more immersive overall world. I always thought that like Fallout 4 is more comparable to Skyrim, just like with guns and in the Fallout universe, obviously, more so than New Vegas. But yeah, 76 was almost universally disliked, especially at launch when it was so buggy and like even in its fully fixed state, it's still not a good game by any means. At least that's how I see it.
these came out in 2015.
So this is when the cracks with Bethesda really started to show.
It is 2026. Fallout 5, not even fucking close. 2033, maybe at my best guess. And actually, that's even kind of a hopeful guess, to be honest. So, just real quick, these two numbers have this big of a gap between them. The previous biggest gap between main series releases was 98 to 2008. So, that was 10 years between releases, which is a long time. And during that time, one man was pretty salty about that whole thing. And they acquired the rights to Fallout in 2004, meaning Todd only waited 6 years until he needed to make one. And now he expects us to wait 18 years between releases?
Yep.
What do you even, and the worst part about it all,
I like how the guy, the animation is like how the guy at the table is like, guys. That's really good.
what do you
Shout out drawn out. Like this is a really cool video format. I like it.
even, and the worst part about it all is that every time this is brought up to his face, he says, "Oh, well, you got Fallout 76. Todd, that's not enough." But again, this has been ranted about a million times by a bunch of people. Todd, that's not enough. But again, this has been ranted about a million times by a bunch of people way more articulate than me. I'm just trying to point out the raw numbers here because it's staggering when you really think about it. Like, let's look at what Bethesda has done from 2015 to 2023. They did some light design work on Fallout 76 because they didn't make that game. They outsourced that game to Bethesda Austin or whatever the fuck. Todd and the boys barely touched 76. So what Bethesda did since releasing Fallout 4 for 8 years was make Starfield. They spent 8 years to do some light work on Fallout 76 and make fucking Starfield. More on Starfield in a bit. Let's talk about From Software. What did they do from 2015 to 2023? In 2015, they released Bloodborne. In 2016, they released Dark Souls 3 and did DLC in 2017. In 2019, they released Sekiro. In 2022, they released Elden Ring and did DLC. In 2023, they released Armored Core 6. And just for the fuck of it, I mean, Bethesda hasn't done anything since they released Starfield. And, you know, FromSoft released Elden Ring Night Rain. Just.
Yeah. So I was actually considering making a video on how From Software became what Bethesda used to be, or like From Software is the new Bethesda back from when Bethesda was actually good. Um, because yeah, like what he says is like they've first of all they've actually been a prolific studio lately. They've released stuff that's actually good. Um, and there are differences. Like From Software, I think has a bigger emphasis on overall speaking. Like for most of their games, they have a bigger emphasis on gameplay itself, like the mechanics of gameplay, the actual fights. Whereas Bethesda never really did. Like I feel like if you go back to like uh, Fallout 3, uh, Fallout 4, Oblivion, Skyrim, like all of those games, do not tell me you play those games because the combat is very good. It's not. Even in Fallout 4, which I would argue has the best combat out of those old school Bethesda games that were actually good, even Fallout 4's combat is okay at best. Like it's serviceable enough that you can enjoy the world and you can be immersed in it. Like combat is not so bad that it breaks you out of the immersion, but you don't play Fallout or the Elder Scrolls because of the gameplay slash fight mechanics. Like, do not lie to me.
For the fuck of it. So they've had 6 major releases in the time that Bethesda has,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't.
So let's just look at another one. How about Capcom? In 2016, they did Street Fighter V. In 2017, they did Resident Evil 7. 2019, they did the Resident Evil 2 remake, also a fantastic game. In the same year, they also released Devil May Cry 5. 2020 was Resident Evil 3 remake. Not as good, but definitely a fine game. And in 2021, they did Resident Evil Village, which is Resident Evil 8. Oh, and in 2023, they released a Resident Evil 4 remake. So this is a fun one. Let's look at Obsidian Entertainment.
Oh, let me guess. The bullet is going to go into Bethesda. That'd be cool if it does. Yeah.
I don't know why we would be looking
I
at
saw
Obsidian
that coming.
Entertainment, but just take a look at them and see what they've done from 2015 to 2023. All of this. They did all of this. Tyranny, Pillars of Eternity 2, The Outer Worlds, Grounded, Pentiment, The Outer Worlds 2. Just like an actual dev studio, just pumping out games. Now, I'm not going to say all these games are great. I didn't play any of these games, but people did. People liked them, and Obsidian is a better company because of it. But how about we compare Bethesda to who they really want to be compared to? Rockstar Games. This is who Bethesda thinks that they are. They think they have the track record of Rockstar. I played GTA 3 and Vice City way before I played any Bethesda game.
Yeah,
and
me
GTA
too.
3 and Vice City.
What's the first GTA game you played? Like, I'm genuinely curious. For me, it was the one before Vice City. I think it was like called Liberty City, if I remember correctly, but it was a really long time ago. Like, yeah, it might have been one of the first actual quote unquote AAA games that I played. I don't know if the AAA games even existed at that time, but not counting Super Mario or whatever.
Are infinitely better games than fucking Starfield.
Sorry, what do you
Before I
say?
played any Bethesda game. And GTA 3 and Vice City are infinitely better games than fucking Starfield.
Oh, okay.
So if we look at Rockstar Games and what they've released from 2015 to 2023, it's just Red Dead. It's Red Dead 2. Here, actually, let me show you why you're not Rockstar. Skyrim, Fallout 4.
But Red Dead is like, it's a masterpiece. Like, it's one of the best games released in the last decade. It's on par with The Witcher 3. I actually even made a comparison video comparing Witcher 3 and Red Dead 2. And I mean, Red Dead 2 is a masterpiece. Starfield, yeah, far from it.
And Starfield. These 3 games combined made about $4 billion. And this is actually being extremely generous. That's a Red Dead. That's just a Red Dead 2. That's one Red Dead 2. And
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay, that's pretty cool. So Red Dead 2 made the same money as Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Starfield combined. Really? I would have thought that Skyrim would be at least close to Red Dead, Skyrim by itself. If I were to guess, that would have been my guess, but okay.
No, isn't it
Interesting.
funny that Rockstar Games can release the fourth best-selling video game ever and completely abandon it? No online support, no DLC, nothing. You get nothing. Well, I mean, you get Red
Jesus,
Dead 2,
that
which
game
is
looks
Red Dead
so
2. I
good.
mean, it's one of the best games ever made, easily. But that's what Rockstar can do. They can make Red Dead 2 the fourth best-selling video game ever, loved by everyone. If they shit out a DLC tomorrow, they
Nobody
would
makes it
make
sound
more
good.
money than Bethesda made on Fallout 4. And the reason Rockstar can just abandon the fourth best-selling video game ever is because GTA 5 and Online
Yep.
has made $10 billion. And they're
Oh,
slated
hell,
to
really?
keep that train moving real soon. And this is the reason, Bethesda, that you are not Rockstar. So let's talk about Starfield. This was
I like
released
the
by a
little
AAA
pan
developer.
into
This
him.
cost $200 million to make. It has mixed Steam reviews with 83,000 reviews. At the time of recording, it has two.
You guys play Starfield? Like, I'm genuinely like, I'm curious to know because I actually didn't. Watched, uh, I watched Starfield. Like, I watched a few videos of gameplay on Starfield, and I was like, nope, I'm not playing that.
2,500 people online on Steam. I just want to point out, this is less than Dark and Darker. It isn't fun. Oh, by the way, Starfield got an 83 on Metacritic. You know what that means? No bonus. Nobody asked for Starfield. It put two major game franchises on hold, and this point I cannot stress enough.
I love those days.
Fallout and The Elder Scrolls are separately multi-billion-dollar franchises, if done correctly. They're rich in lore, beloved by millions, and Bethesda stopped making them
Oh
to
my God, I
work
love
on this
Ron
fucking
Swanson.
space game, which by its very nature is completely antithetical to everything Bethesda has done to this point. Starfield further damaged Bethesda's brand. Fallout 76 was a huge blow to Bethesda, but Starfield,
Yeah.
it really shows what happens if you give Todd and the boys no clear direction.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier how I thought that Fallout 76 was like when we really started to see cracks, like serious, like where we started to have real doubts about Bethesda and whether they're able to continue producing good games. And then Starfield was like the nail in the coffin. Like that was when we were like, oh, so they really have no idea what they're doing.
Just space game. Starfield didn't innovate on literally anything.
Yeah, I mean, he said it really well. Like I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name. Drawn out. He really said it well. Like it's literally a space game. You might as well just call it Bethesda colon a space game. Like it would have about as much personality as it does now.
In the industry at all. I mean, this is, everybody knows this. It's a regression in every single way. And for what?
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
When Microsoft bought Bethesda, I had to.
Wait, like is this footage from Starfield? Oh hell no!
Dude!
Oh, that is bad, bro.
What the fuck?
When Microsoft bought Bethesda, I had it in my head that maybe they'll greenlight new Fallout games. Maybe they'll remaster New Vegas, remake 1 and 2
Yeah.
on like in a
I
graphically
had
better
those same
situation
hopes,
than they're in
bro.
right now. Okay, let's be honest. Nope. Instead, do nothing. It's like the one time where you're just begging for a little bit of corporate greed. You know, just a little bit of money-hungry fill.
Yeah.
But no, somehow they're able to just buy ZeniMax for $8 billion and then just let Todd and the boys continue doing fuck all. You know, it's been said a million times that Microsoft owns Obsidian and Bethesda right now. and so they can do the unthinkable. But it really just seems like they're gonna just do nothing. That was until the Fallout
And I really don't. Okay, I'm interested in what he has to say about the TV show, but I really thought like I don't get it even from a corporate greed perspective. Like if you're Microsoft or Bethesda, like I feel like making New Vegas remakes, Fallout 3 remakes, like even Skyrim remakes, but obviously we all want new games. We all want Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6, but even just making remakes, especially I feel like New Vegas is a really big one. Uh, People would buy that stuff. Like we would pay money to play New Vegas remake, to play Fallout 3 remake, and like even from their perspective they don't even have to care about the players. I mean, it would be nice if they did, but let's be honest, that that ship has sailed. But even if they just make it just to make money and make it good enough for players, like new graphics, better mechanics, less bugs, just modernize it some like a bit, it would be good even from a purely business perspective because people would be hyped about it, right? I really feel like the fans of Fallout and Elder Scrolls as well are hardcore enough that they would be happy at least for a while with just New Vegas remakes or their favorite Fallout game remakes or Elder Scrolls remakes. But no, like Microsoft is just like, no, you're good. Let's not do anything, or let's not do anything good, or let's make Starfield or Oblivion remaster, which again I made a video on Oblivion remaster as well. But okay, I'm digressing. Let's go on.
TV show. Microsoft and Bethesda didn't expect the show to succeed, which can be fair. I mean, shows often fail, but they had no faith in it whatsoever.
I mean, shows often fail. I mean, video shows based on video games fail even more. They fail almost without exception. And I've talked about how Fallout Season 2 is really disappointing. I didn't mention this because I didn't have my channel back when Season 1 was airing. But I actually thought Season 1 was better than Season 2 as a standalone TV show. Like if you go in without knowing the lore, without having played any of the Fallout games, and you watch Fallout TV show Season 1, it's not that bad. Like that's what I thought. Obviously, I saw a lot of the discrepancies and inaccuracies uh, when you put it against the game and compare the games and compare it. But as a show, like in a vacuum, I thought it was pretty decent in season one. Like it had good action. It was funny at times, and it had mostly good pacing. I think in season one. Uh, it's just that for like hardcore Fallout fans, such as myself, uh, it wasn't like accurate or like yeah, I guess accurate. It wasn't accurate enough compared to the faithful is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, it wasn't faithful enough to the source material, but I could understand it. Like they're making it to be successful, and by most metrics it was. So yeah, but then season 2 came out and it was just uh it it was a deterioration for me.
They had absolutely nothing planned. No games ready, not even a Fallout 76 update. It wasn't until after the show came out that Fallout 76 started receiving real updates. Before that, it was literally just sell you stuff in Fallout 4. After the show, 76 got a huge boost in the developer count, it would seem, which was just a big scramble. But Fallout 4, oh, Fallout 4.
You little I shut you! Stop! He's already dead.
Fallout 4 got the next gen update. not too long after the show came out. What did the next gen update do for Fallout 4? You
Broke
ask?
the game.
Well, it broke the game in a lot of different ways. It didn't add what it was meant to add, which was mainly there was a widescreen support thing. That was kind of why it was called the next gen update, I think.
I mean, their
It's
next
because
gen
it was going to add
update, and
widescreen
then
support. It didn't
after
do
the
that. It just like
anniversary.
stretched the screen, which made the
Okay,
UI all freak
I'm
out.
assuming
It
he'll
was
go over it.
just, they're awful. And then Fallout 4 stayed broken for about 18 months. But the main thing the next gen update did was add more monetization in the form of Creation Club nonsense. So fast forward to the Anniversary Edition, which was about 18 months, I believe. So the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition broke the game in a lot of different ways. It charged you for literally nothing. I mean, like, there are options for me to currently buy stuff on the Steam page for Fallout 4 that would give me nothing.
We don't give two shits about how technology works, because all we care about is getting fucking rich.
It doesn't work on PlayStation. For some reason, it's just completely there's pieces of it that
Yeah. I mean, I made video like more than like I made multiple videos on how Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition basically broke the game for PlayStation players. It also introduced a lot of problems for PC and Xbox, but PS I feel was particularly bad, and it just flat out made the game unplayable. I mean, like literally, you could not enter the game or you could not load entire zones. It was really, really bad.
are completely broken on PlayStation. It broke tons of mods, which actually I forgot to mention that for the Fallout 4 next gen update. One of the really core headaches with that update was that it broke everybody's mods. Because Fallout 4 hadn't been updated for a very long time at that point. Oh, and it added more monetization, and I mean a lot more this time. So while we're here, let's talk about the Elder Scrolls 6. What do we know about the Elder Scrolls 6? Well, it's still years away. This much is confirmed by Todd. It'll be using ancient technology when it does release. We know
Wait, what did it say?
this much is confirmed
Oh, okay.
by Todd. It'll be using ancient technology when it does release. We know nothing about the actual game. Two things are for sure, though, and that is lies will be told and there will be Creation Club on launch. It's a sequel to Skyrim from 2011, one of the most successful games ever made. And I say that a little bit loosely. I think it's got like 30 million sales under its belt, but that's a significant number. It's high up there. There has been absolutely zero urgency from Bethesda, ZeniMax, or Microsoft to get this out the door. And it's not hard to demonstrate that. I mean, by the time The Elder Scrolls 6 releases, there would have been a 16 to 17 year gap between 5 and 6. For reference, there was a 5-year gap between 4 and 5. Fallout 3 Remaster. This one's a hot topic recently. My guess is it'll have a 2026 to 2028 release. I know that's like an extremely safe guess, but it's so hard to read these people. This one's rumored to be developed by Bethesda themselves. The last one was outsourced to that studio I can't think of the name of.
Oh, I have a proposition for you. Best not to talk about it here.
Was
Meet
it
me at
really?
the
I didn't know
sewer
it
grate
was.
northeast of the Sheogorath
I didn't know that
statue.
the
Come after
Oblivion
dark.
remaster
Come
was
alone.
outsourced. Okay.
I remember hearing that this one is rumored to be developed by Bethesda. In-house, baby. Who the fuck knows what that will mean? Will it have the Unreal Gamebryo combo? Is Bethesda developing this one in-house to learn how to do that method? I don't know. What I do expect from this is for it to lead to the New Vegas remaster, which is what we all crave. So Fallout 5.
Yeah.
As I said before, I think it'll be a 2033-ish release date. It'll probably be on the upgraded Creation engine. And really just the direction of the Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna tell us what Fallout 5 is gonna be like. We gotta see if Bethesda is going to listen to literally anything that has been told to them.
I mean, I like that he's. I think it's a very optimistic approach to say Elder Scrolls 6 will tell us whether Fallout 4, whether Elder Scrolls 6 is going to tell us what Fallout 5 will be like. That's a nice, optimistic approach. But I think that we unfortunately already know the answer, and the answer is no, they're not going to listen to players and fans of the franchise. I think something that we have to remember is like, and one of the reasons that the whole gaming industry has been moving in a really poor direction, I would say. And Bethesda is at the forefront of that. They've done worse than most, but it is the whole gaming industry. is moving more towards monetization and, let's call it, cheap fun, as opposed to actually deep, like, good stories, depth, lore, respecting the intelligence of their players, etc. And the reason the whole gaming industry has been moving away from this is because, like, if you think about to like 15 years ago or 20 years ago, when gaming industry was, like, being a gamer and playing video games was a pretty niche thing, right? Like in like 2005 or even 2010, playing games was not nearly as popular as it is now. I would say, I don't know the actual numbers, so I'm just like making an educated guess, but I would say maybe like 10 or 15% of the population was playing games regularly. By regularly, I mean like at least once a week, like 20 years ago. But now, I think I remember reading that like almost half, like around 50% of people today play games at least once a week. And of course, a lot of it is like just mobile gaming. People who just play like on the subway, on the way to work, while they're commuting, whatever it is. But it doesn't matter. Like, the point is, gaming has become more mainstream. And because it has become more mainstream, it's also attracted more, let's say, more non hardcore fans of various games and franchises. And like, the way I think about it is like, gaming now caters more to mindless entertainment audience than those who want some, like, to immerse themselves in a game, right? And the way I compare it is like, to me, the ultimate mindless entertainment TV show, if we compare it, like, gaming to TV shows, is like The Big Bang Theory, which to me is I don't know if you know about the Big Bang Theory, is like the most watched, the sitcom that made the most money and the most watched, the most popular, blah blah blah. And the reason, I think, is because it was best at one thing, and it is that it was best at appealing to the lowest common denominator. Like, it wasn't too smart for anyone. That's the thing. Like, the humor didn't go above anyone's head. And that's why people watched it. And people, like, if you think about the average Big Bang Theory watcher, viewer, they didn't watch it and then discuss with their friends. They didn't watch it and then talk about the depth of the characters, who's a bad, who's a good guy, who, like, what kind of relationship do they have, what was the writing like, did the writing change in later seasons compared to the earlier seasons. No, like, you watch Big Bang Theory when you want to just chill and not think about anything. That's what it was. It was mindless entertainment. And unfortunately, because gaming has become more mainstream and attracted more average audience, gaming, it has become more mindless entertainment for a large percentage of the, like, of people who play games than it used to be the case 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago. And because of like, studios have unfortunately realized this, and they are appealing to the lowest common denominator. And, like, the unfortunate reality of that is that nowadays, like, if you think about everyone who consumes Fallout, franchise in any way, whether that's playing the games or watching a TV show or both, or even playing tabletop board games, whatever it is. Now, all those people, compared to all those people 15 years ago, nowadays there's more people who consume Fallout content as mindless entertainment. Whereas, like, if you played Fall, now that's the case with the TV show and new Fallout that's more about like monetization, creation club, blah blah blah. But when you compare that to how it was, like for example, with Fallout 3 or New Vegas, or especially Fallout 2 and 1, like you had to be a really hardcore fan to enjoy those games. Like you couldn't play Fallout 1 or 2 or 3 or New Vegas as mindless entertainment. Like if you played them, it's highly likely you were highly immersed in those games. It was something you would talk about with your friends. Like you would think about it when not playing. You would like go to old school forums and see what other people thought. Do they agree with your views? Do they disagree? Why do they agree or disagree? What do others think? Nowadays, that's not done nearly as much in terms of the percentage of like fans and consumers who do that. Yes, there are people like nowadays, those of us who are, let's say, hardcore Fallout fans, we constitute maybe a fifth or a quarter of all the people who consume Fallout content. And from a business perspective, unfortunately, it makes absolute sense why gaming companies are not going to cater to us. First of all, there's less of us, but also like those like we tend to be harder to please because we ask more from the franchise. So like from the gaming company's perspective, from a pure corporate business perspective, the other type of audience is easier to make more money on. It makes sense that they are going to cater to them.
So, in summary, we are currently in the longest Fallout drought. 76 does not count, Todd. 2 to 3 was 10 years, 3 to 4 was 7 years, 4 to 5 is about 18 years. You can combine the wait between 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, and you won't get the wait between 4 to 5. Bethesda will let their biggest franchises sit for 15 plus years. Microsoft is just as at fault as Bethesda for letting Fallout get to this point. And the odds are nothing will change. Again,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the doomer take.
No, I mean I agree with his perspective. Yeah, like odds are nothing will change. I absolutely agree. Like if I were a betting man, I would bet on things not changing. Microsoft is just as at Fallout. Microsoft is just as at fault. Um, yes, but with a caveat. And the caveat is that, yes, they are just as at fault, but they should be expected to not be at fault less than Bethesda. I know it's a convoluted sentence, but what I mean is like if Bethesda screws up or doesn't do good by Fallout, that's worse than if Microsoft doesn't do good by Fallout. That's because Fallout is, yes, I understand Microsoft owns Bethesda, but Fallout is Bethesda's franchise. That's how people see it. They bought it a long time ago. They've come up with some great games in the franchise, and they are the ones who should make sure that the Fallout franchise is back on track. More so, I think the responsibility is more on them than it is on Microsoft.
But
and you're going to give this book, this great American novel, to the player. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to rip out every page and make paper airplanes out of it.
You just posted cringe.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. If you're watching right now, like if you're still watching this video and you haven't left a like come on, bro. Like you're here at the end.
Yeah. I mean, that's it for the reaction. Shout out to Drawn Out. I'll leave a link to his to this video in the description. Really cool video. He does, like, he says a lot of insightful things, and he obviously knows what he's talking about. This whole format with like the simplified black and white animation, it's really cute. I like it. If you haven't seen his video, I suggest you go and check it out. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys for watching and have a great day.